All right, guys. So in this video, we're going to talk about how to make the most out of your day as an online coach and as a tennis coach. Okay. And as you're building your business, as you're building your scaling, and you want to make sure that your habits are dialed in and you're making the most out of your time and you're not wasting your time. Okay. So let's talk about first the components and kind of the buckets that you want to allocate your time to. Okay. Because there's different buckets that you're going to want to allocate your time to. Okay. So to keep it very simple, um, conceptually, you have to understand this. As a human being, you're limited by a few things. Okay. You have a finite amount of attention. Okay. You have a finite amount of energy. Okay. And you also have a finite amount of time. So right now, you're limited with your time, energy, and attention. And these are the resources that you have to learn how to allocate efficiently. All right. So about like a year and a half ago, I hired a coach who specializes in peak performance and specializes in optimizing um, you to perform as maximum as possible, right? And to optimize your performance. And that's that guy's whole offer is how to maximize peak performance. And he helped me optimize my calendar and taught me a lot of principles about how to manage your time, energy, and attention, which are the resources that you have to learn how to allocate and be efficient with. Okay, because they are limited. Your time, energy, and attention are limited. Okay, so now you have your time, energy, and attention. Okay, when you're picking activities, certain activities will fill up your energy, certain activities will drain your energy. So you need to be aware of what activities do you do that maybe give you some more energy, and maybe some other activities that maybe are soul sucking and maybe are draining you of the energy that you need and that you want and that you desire. So in this video, I'm going to mainly talk about the components that you want to factor in and the buckets that you want to allocate your time to as a coach and as a successful online coach. Okay. So, first of all, you should be allocating time every single day for your health and for your fitness. Okay. So, number one, you got to be allocating time to become more disciplined and to become better as an athlete yourself. Okay. Especially if you're younger. All right. You need to spend that time and do that hard work from 30 minutes to multiple hours per day. Okay. Now, what I recommend is having systems like jump rope every single day where you can get about in less than 10 minutes, you can get a great workout in, and it can also get your energy levels up, actually. Okay. Oftentimes, people think that doing workouts and doing hard workouts makes them tired, and maybe it does, especially at the beginning. But you know this as a good coach, as a good athlete, it's like workouts, getting in good shape, it actually makes your energy better. It actually gives you more energy because you get used to it and you can adapt and your body becomes more efficient. Okay. So you should be spending time on your own health and fitness. Okay. And also your skills as a coach as well, in terms of if you haven't learned how to apply certain things to your own game, why is this person going to trust you to apply that to them when you haven't even done it to yourself, right? So make sure that you're able to apply everything that you're learning as a coach as well to yourself. Okay. So now let's get kind of more into the trenches of your actual online business. All right. It's going to be very simple. There are a few things that you should focus on. Number one is booking calls. Okay. So, number one is going to be booking calls. Okay. Booking calls. Number two is going to be taking calls. Okay. Number 3 is going to be delivering your client success. All right. So you should be spending a portion of your day serving your clients, outreaching to your clients, checking in with your clients every single day. Okay. So make sure that you're doing that. All right. If you're trying to get more clients now, highly recommend go into your phone, look at your network of all your contacts you have, and start texting people. Hey, Joe, hope you're doing great. Do you know anyone who needs a tennis coach? Do you know anyone who is looking to take their tennis game to the next level? Who needs help with their tennis game? Do you know anyone who does this? You don't need to ask them, hey, do you want me to coach you? You don't need to ask that. But just ask them, hey, do you know anyone who can help me with this? Or do you know anyone who needs my help with tennis or something like that? Right? And you'll get people to respond to you. And just see within your network that you have who you can help. And if you got to help them for free or for very little, do that. Do that so you can get case studies as fast as possible, right? Before people wanted to really work with me, I had to sign people up for not a lot of money, right? The first client I ever signed up was for like $500 for like unlimited access to me one-on-one. You might not think that's worth it, but for me, it was worth it because I just wanted to get good case studies, right? I wanted to start helping people so that I can actually start charging more and make more money, right? And serve more people, make a bigger impact. Okay. So you should be allocating your time to booking calls, taking calls, okay? Delivering your client success, okay? And from there, just give me 1 second here. Um, yeah, so guys, look, and then from there, yeah. So look, from there, it's very simple. So you want to kind of segment it in a few things, okay? So um, once you're running ads, okay, it's going to be very simple. You're going to be running ads, okay? You're going to be booking calls. You're going to take the calls, and then you're going to get results for your students, and then you're going to repeat that process. Run ads, book calls, take calls, get results, and then repeat it. You don't want to overcomplicate it. So let's talk about now, like, that's kind of conceptually like what you should be spending your time on, right? So that means, okay, today I'm spending time on, okay, I'm scripting an ad, okay, I'm shooting, recording the ad, editing the ad, and then uploading the ad. Those are components of like running an ad, right? Booking calls, here's the process of booking calls. You're going to have conversations with people either through text message, either in person, or through Instagram DMs. And you're going to have a conversation and you're going to apply the appointment setting framework that I have in my program. Okay. And you're going to apply that to all the conversations that you're going to have with your students. Okay. And from there, your goal is not to sell your program. Your goal is to book calls. So that's called appointment setting. That's a part of the process called appointment setting, which first you need to do yourself for your own business. And then you can eventually hire somebody to help you with the appointment setting. Okay. That's something that I help people with in my program is if they need an appointment setter to help them send messages, we can do that. And I have access to that within my network. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, let me know. But that's about booking calls and then taking calls. So that means you're packing calls onto your calendar, or you have in-person meetings, or you have an in-person meetup with somebody, or you have a phone call or a Zoom call, and you're going to take the call. And a percentage of those calls, they're not going to want to work with you. They're not going to sign up. That's okay. A percentage of them will. A percentage of them are going to pay you. Okay, you've taken calls. Now you have a few people in your program. Now you need to actually start getting results for them. You just sold them your program, so now we got to get results for them, right? When you're starting, you need to leverage your in-person testimonials and clients to promote your online program. Okay? So what I recommend is post on your stories. If you look at my Instagram today, when I'm recording this at least, I posted a lot of examples of exactly the type of story post you should be using to attract people and to build authority with your content and with your story posts. So I posted my student results of some students who have been working with of their tournaments this past weekend, right? Just the past few days. And I posted like 4 or 5 case studies of different clients who are liking their progress. Maybe they like working with me in a certain capacity and they're getting good results with X, Y, and Z. And they're sending me messages about it. So what you can do is you can post those messages. Okay, you can blur out their names if they don't give you permission to use their names in the footage. Especially if you're working with kids, I would blur out their names. But if they're adults and they gave you consent, it's okay. Um, but yeah, use that, leverage your in-person case studies so that you can attract more people for your online program. So when I was starting, I would leverage all the lessons I was doing working at an academy. All the people I was doing lessons with for like 10, 12 hours a day, I would take videos of that and I would post some of them on my story and showcase the world that I'm working with a lot of athletes and that a lot of high level people are paying me for my expertise, right? So, especially if you're younger coming into this, you're going to face some of those barriers of trust because you're young and older people might not trust you. It's not really their fault though, because most young people, whatever, they maybe don't have the credibility, they don't have the credentials, they don't have all of that. So it's your job to show why you are the best and why they need to go with you. Because why would they go with you when they could go with someone who's been doing it for 30 years? Right? So you got to make that make sense and prove to them that. Show them evidence, make it undeniable. You're putting these posts on your story, your client wins, all that. They would be fools to not join your program because they're seeing firsthand the results that you're getting for your students, right? Especially when you want to grow your business a lot and sign up more people. Okay, so that's one way that you can kind of do that. Um, and then from there, it's like once you have a handful of clients, you need to be really focused on just getting good results for them and asking them, hey, how can I serve you better? How can I make this delivery, this experience better for you? I'm here for you with whatever you need. What can I do for you to make it the best ever? And get feedback from your clients. And they'll tell you, right? And that's how you can iterate and improve your program. Okay. Now, I want to give you some real specifics on how to build your calendar. And I'm actually going to pull up my calendar on my end here and kind of show you at least what I do with my calendar. And so let's see here. Okay. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So on your calendar, you can do a few things. So number one is you can create different calendars. So what I do is I have one calendar which is attached to my email, and then I have another one which is basically like my container. Okay, my container calendar, which basically blocks off certain sections of the day for certain things, right? And I block off certain times for deep work, certain times for recovery, certain times for my next deep work blocks. Okay. And how I usually do it is I will have blocked off on my calendar, I'll have my sleep blocked off when I'm sleeping. And then I will have my first recovery period, which is usually when I wake up to the period of time when I start working. Okay. And I block that off. So it's consistent every day. Okay. And then from there, um, usually what I have is I have about an hour and a half or 2 hours of deep work. You don't really want more than that. You don't really want more than like an hour and a half, 2 hours of deep work before your next recovery session. So what I do is I have a like 1 hour, 1.5 hour deep work session where I'm working on whatever my kind of plan is that I made for myself for that week. And I'll do all that work in that hour and a half. And then after that hour and a half, I'll have about a 30 minutes a recovery block where I'll either do some jump rope. I might go hit the hot tub if I'm at my house. I might go do some serves at my courts locally to me, right? Walk to my courts literally 90 seconds away from where I live, hit some serves. Might go for a walk around my neighborhood, or yeah, something that recharges you, right? So find those things that recharge you. And then in your recovery blocks, you can program that in. So it gives you energy for that next deep work session that you have. Okay. Maybe it's a shower. Maybe it's like a cold shower. Maybe it's like an ice bath, right? Maybe it's, like I do sometimes, like walking around the neighborhood, do a lap around the neighborhood, or do your jump rope training for the day, whatever it is. All right. So what I would recommend is have a recovery block about 30 minutes in between your hour and a half deep work sessions. Okay. Now, after that recovery, I have my second deep work block. All right. And then after that next deep work block, which is another hour and a half to 2 hours, I'm going to have my next recovery session. Okay. For about 30 minutes as well. Okay. Um, Now, what I do with my schedule is because I take a lot of calls, I block off times for my calls. And what I recommend for you when you're starting is create a lot of availability in your calendar for that so you can just pack as many calls as possible. And then as you get more booked up and you try to like build your business kind of by design and like what you want your schedule to look like, then you can be a little bit more picky and choosy with exactly what you want to do with your time, right? Like sometimes I only take calls in the mornings. Sometimes I take calls in the afternoons. Sometimes I'm taking calls in the mornings and afternoons and evenings, right? It just depends on the kind of mode that you're in, the season that you're in, right? Are you working on like the structure of things, or are you really trying to scale and grow really quickly? Okay. Um, so yeah, what I would do is I would have a mix of those deep work sessions mixed in with recovery sessions, and yeah, and then segment time. So like I have 1 day per week where I have it's called like a weekly battle plan, where I list out like my goals for the next week, and I basically plan tomorrow today, but even kind of more forward. So I plan like the next week. Okay, what are my projects that I'm going to work on for next week? What are my like, main like 3 things that are my priority? And then in that weekly battle plan, I basically write that down, and then it's like, okay, I have these projects I want to work on. let's say I want to build out a part of my course. It's like, okay, well, then for the next week, you go into your calendar, you go into the containers that you put in your calendar, and then you physically input now on your calendar um, the actual like day-to-day things you're going to be doing. So let's say you plan it for like next week, right? And you're like, okay, on Monday, um, I'm going to build out modules 1 and 2 of the course, which are X, Y, and Z. Okay, great. That's going to be in deep work session number 1. Plan out modules 1 and 2. Great. Okay, great. The next deep work session, what are you going to do in that session? Okay, well, I'm going to build my I'm going to shoot and record the videos for modules 1 and 2, right? You just kind of game planned it, you wrote it out, you kind of conceptualized everything, but now let's record it, let's shoot it, let's edit it, and then boom, let's upload it. Great. That's what you're doing in that deep work session. Okay. Let's say your goal for the next week is, okay, I want to script and launch my ad. Great. So then you put that in your calendar for those deep work sessions, and you make it very simple. You just put exactly what you're going to accomplish and make it very specific in what you're going to actually work on. Okay. And then when you go into your deep work session, turn off your phone, make sure you don't have any notifications on your devices coming at you, and hunker down and do the work. Sit down and just do the work, bro. Okay. And that's how you can kind of start planning your day and make things more routine. But yeah, so if you're kind of trying to schedule your day, I highly recommend, especially as you're younger, make sure that you're working on your own skill sets as well, your own game, your own physicality, your own mentality. Do those hard work things. I try to do those early as possible. Okay. And then set up your day very simply where you're either working on appointment setting. Okay. You're either booking appointments, you're in your DMs, messaging people, booking appointments, getting people on calls. You're either taking calls, you're either making content, you're either editing content, you're either learning from your mentors, you're either reading books, or you're delivering for your clients and you're serving your existing clients. So if it isn't like one of those things, you probably can eliminate it. You probably can eliminate it and fully focus on those tasks. It's very simple. Once you start running ads, you're booking calls, you're taking calls, you're getting results, and then you're repeating that. So don't get me wrong. It's not the easiest thing in the world. It's easier than you think, though. And it's a process and it's hard work and it takes time. But those are the action items that you should be focused on. And if you run ads correctly, you can have people coming inbound to you every single day who know you, like you, and trust you. And the better your content is, they're going to know you better, they're going to like you more, they're going to trust you more. So when you're starting, okay, for you specifically watching this right now, I need you to double down on content and make really good content. And I need you to have 1,000 videos on your Instagram page. You know? So focus on that. Double down on that content. Double down on getting your ads up and running. And then it's very simple. Run ads, book calls, take calls, get results, and repeat that sucker again. Repeat that sucker again. And that's really all you need to get started. And that's all the action items that you need to focus on. It's really not too complicated. But if you're looking for guidance and you're looking to have a pathway to get there and expedite that process, shoot me a message on Instagram. Happy to help you out. Keeping the one-on-one help like super selective right now for my community that I'm building. And yeah, we're doing some interesting like partnerships, helping coaches sign up more students and basically help them put them in my same ecosystem. So yeah, if you have any questions about this on how to specifically make your calendar more efficient, let me know. But to keep it super simple, with everything I just listed, figure out what are your priorities with everything I listed right there. Okay. And then see, okay, how can I, to put it very simply, how can I just plan tomorrow today? Start with that. Do that every day for a month. Plan the next day today. And then you can start doing more advanced things like having a weekly battle plan where you put, say, an hour. I would block off like an hour and a half time weekly, just for the same time every week, where you're going to create that battle plan for the next week. And then you can plan for the next week today. But when you're starting, keep it simple. Just plan tomorrow today. And then you can build and you can get more advanced with it. But anytime that I really want to just dial in and lock in even more, I just go back to planning tomorrow today. And that gives me a lot of just clarity and makes it very easy and very simple so that I can just wake up the next day and focus on executing. There's some people having fun in the pool next door. But yeah, guys, I think that's my sign to wrap this up now. I got some more content I'm going to make now. And yeah, got a client call in a few minutes here. But I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.